You lie still. The room is quiet, and the world begins to slow. Within the hush, something else stirs faint, invisible, but always present. It is not your breath, though that rises and falls gently like ocean tides. It is not your heartbeat, though you may feel its echo behind your ribs. This, deeper still, is the quiet pulse of your nervous system. It is older than your thoughts, older than memory, older than language, whispering through the folds of your body like wind through branches. You do not hear it with your ears. You feel it, not as a sound, but as a presence, a hum, a current running quietly beneath your skin, linking mind to muscle, skin to sensation, breath to thought. This is your internal network, your body's silent command center, an orchestra of electricity and chemistry playing just beneath awareness, and though it speaks no words, it understands everything. Imagine for a moment the light of a single star, small, quiet, and steady. Now imagine that star igniting beside another, and another until the sky becomes a constellation. This is how neurons speak to each other. Each cell lights up, not alone, but as part of a brilliant web. Not with sound or flame, but with a flicker of voltage, a whisper of ions, a language of pure electricity. You are not just a body with a brain. You are a galaxy of signals, a shimmering conversation between billions of cells that never sleep. Every blink, every breath, every dream, they all begin in this glowing storm of connection. The nervous system begins before you're born. Long before you speak, walk, or remember, tiny threads are already spinning through you, reaching outward, mapping your shape, touching bone and skin, learning how to feel, how to move, how to be alive. By the time you're born, your nervous system knows how to cry, how to swallow, how to feel warmth and pain. It is your very first language, and though you grow and forget, it never stops speaking. Even now, as you lie here, still and quiet, it listens to the world without needing your permission. It listens to the air touching your arms. It feels the pressure of the mattress beneath you. It adjusts your heartbeat with gentle precision. You don't command it. You are it. The brain is often thought of as the king of the body, but it is not a king. It is a lantern in the dark. It glows with possibility, but depends on its roots to shine. Your nervous system is not made of parts that serve the brain. It is a network, a deeply woven fabric where no one thread can exist alone. Even the simplest reflex, like pulling your hand from heat, doesn't wait for thought. It's the body thinking for itself. A signal flies through your nerves at lightning speed, reaching the spinal cord, bouncing back like a wave on a drum. You move before you even know why. There is intelligence in this. Not the kind that speaks in words, but the kind that saves you, holds you, guides you through the world without ever asking for thanks. Think now of a neuron. It is not shaped like any other cell. It is not round or square, but long, like a branch of coral, with limbs reaching outward, searching not for food or shelter, but for connection. Every neuron is built to reach, to touch others, to complete the loop, to light the next star in the chain dot and where two neurons meet. There is a synapse, a space not much wider than a breath. Yet across that space, story is told in electricity and chemistry. You think you are alone in your mind, but you are always in conversation. The nervous system is not just fast, it is wise. It knows what to filter, what to feel, what to let rise, and what to let go. Right now, your ears hear the air conditioner. Your skin feels the blanket. Your chest expands with breath, but you are not overwhelmed. Your nervous system knows how to sort the noise. It chooses what you notice. This quiet choosing is happening every moment. It is the gatekeeper of your awareness. And even when you sleep, it watches over you with the patience of a parent. Standing silently at the edge of the bed, there are two great branches to this system. One is the central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord. Sheathed in bone, suspended in protective fluid, guarded like a treasure. The other is the peripheral nervous system. The threads that stretch from that core out into the farthest corners of you. To your fingers, your toes, the curve of your lips, the tips of your ears. They carry stories both ways, from the world to the brain. And back again. So when your skin senses a breeze, that signal travels in. When your brain says move, that command flows out. A constant loop. A river that never dries. A song always sung in both directions. You don't need to understand all the wiring. You only need to know this. You are not one thing. You are thousands of cells communicating quietly, tuning themselves to your life every second of every day. You are sensation and response, feeling and motion, stillness and spark. You are the quiet pulse within. Let's rest now in that stillness. Feel the warmth of your body, the slight pressure of your heartbeat, the gentle stretch of your lungs as they rise and fall. Know that each sensation is a message, not just from the outside in, but from within yourself. Your body is always speaking, and sometimes the most important thing is simply to listen. Even now, this system is learning, adjusting, adapting. Even now, your neurons are firing. Your nervous system is glowing, softly, patiently, quiet as moonlight. Asterisk, a hush surrounds you. But outside this hush, the world continues to move. The air brushes across your cheek. The fabric of the blanket folds softly at your side. Somewhere, a distant sound fades like a wave returning to sea dot. And yet, though your eyes are closed and your body is still, you know these things. Not because you see or speak or move, but because your body feels. This is the work of your sensory nerves. Thin as threads, wide as wonder, they reach outward like roots in soil, pulling in the world and delivering it to you as sensation, its presence, as knowing. Imagine your skin as a meadow, not blank or passive, but alive with quiet watchers. Tiny. Receptors, millions of them lie beneath the surface. Some wait for heat, others for pressure or cold or the prick of pain. Each one, when stirred, sends a ripple inward, a signal, a message. The world has touched me. The world is here. That ripple travels fast. Up through fine nerves, into larger branches, through the spinal cord, and finally into your brain. It all happens in less than a second. A breeze becomes a thought. A touch becomes a memory. Asterisk, now picture this. A feather grazes your forearm. You don't just notice the contact, you feel what it is. Soft, brief, light. The sensation carries a story. That's because your receptors aren't alone. They are specialists. Some measure pressure, some map texture, some detect stretch or vibration. It's as if your skin has its own language. A code written in pulses and patterns. And your brain. It reads this code like poetry. Without your effort, without your awareness, it knows. Feather, light, gentle, safe. Asterisk, not all touch is alike. And not all of it reaches your mind the same way. Some signals raise fast, turgent, clear. Like the sting of a sharp corner or the bite of frost. Others drift more slowly, like the warmth of sun on your back or the tender weight of someone's paw. Hand dot these slower signals called C-tactile fibers carry more than information. They carry emotion, comfort, safety, connection. When someone you love brushes your arm, You feel more than skin. You feel presence. You feel belonging. It's not just biology. It's the nervous system cradling you in the quiet language of touch. Asterisk even. Pain has purpose. You may flinch from it, but your nerves do not lie. They are the guardians of your boundaries. Pain is not punishment. It is a call. Something is wrong. Please notice, from a scraped knee to a broken bone, pain teaches you where. The edges are what is safe and what is not. It is the nervous system's most urgent voice, demanding attention. And when pain quiets again, your nerves carry that too. A message of repair. A return to balance. Now, think of temperature. The coolness of a pillow, the burn of a teacup, the warmth of someone's palm. Each of these is delivered by different receptors. Some only fire when things are too hot, others when too cold. Some stay silent unless the skin strays from comfort. Your body knows the exact moment when the bath turns too hot, or the breeze becomes too sharp. And all of this, from fingertips to face, is woven together by the nervous system's threads. A tactile web, a whispering net, a living map of contact. Asterisk even now, as you lie still, your sensory nerves are awake. They don't demand attention. They don't speak in shouts. But they remain aware, ready, patient, a shift in the blanket, a pulse in your chest, the gentle weight of your eyelids. Every one of these is a gift delivered by your nervous system. You do not ask for it. It simply arrives. A body in constant conversation with the world. Asterisk, have you ever noticed how memory clings to touch? The feel of a parent's hand in childhood. The chill of water on bare feet. The scratch of old wool. Your brain doesn't store these as facts. It stores them as feelings. This is because touch, unlike other senses, travels through the insular cortex, a part of your brain linked with emotion and self-awareness. To feel is to know yourself. To be touched is to remember that you are real in. This way, your sensory nerves do more than report. They remind, and now we pause here, gently. You do not need to control this system. You only need to allow it. Breathe in. Feel the breath against your nostrils. Feel the subtle shift of your ribs. Feel the tension, if there is any, in your shoulders or jaw. All of these are signals. And you can feel them without effort, because your body was designed to know the world, not through words, but through touch. You carry in you a vast and faithful net of feeling, a map without lines, a compass without needles. It wraps around your arms, spirals into your legs, nests at the base of your spine. You are never truly cut off. Even in silence, even in sleep, you are sensing. The nervous system does not rest. It listens. It learns. It loves in the way only biology can, by keeping you whole. Asterisk, settle a little deeper into stillness. Imagine. Within you, a column of quiet strength protected by bone, wrapped in fluid, yet more delicate than glass. It runs from the base of your brain to the hollow of your lower back, a bridge between thought and action, between feeling and form. This is your spinal cord. Not a rope or a tube, but a living thread of wisdom. Sacred hallway, where messages pass like lanterns in the dark. The brain may hold your thoughts, but the spine holds your rhythm. With every step you take, every breath you draw, your spinal cord keeps time, distributing signals, balancing sensation, orchestrating the complex dance of muscles, reflexes, posture, and flow. And it does so quietly, without praise, without pause. The spine doesn't seek credit. It serves. Visualize it now. A soft cord about the width of your thumb, tucked safely inside a tunnel of vertebrae, 33 bones stacked like river stones. It's cradling this sacred thread. From it, dozens of nerves branch outward, like tributaries from a river. They pass between the vertebrae, spilling into shoulders, arms, fingers, torso, legs, toes. And these nerves don't just carry commands from the brain. They return with reports on pressure, heat, pain. Touch. The spine is a two-way street where the entire body comes to speak. Let's step back in time for a moment, before your brain has even formed fully in the womb. The spinal cord begins to grow. It is one of the first structures to take shape, a central line drawn before your limbs unfurl. And even in the earliest weeks, pulses with potential, ready to carry life's instructions across your forming frame. In a way, your spine is your original self. The first conductor, the oldest whisper in your nervous system's song. Now, listen gently to the idea of a reflex. You touch something sharp and your hand pulls back before you even know why. No time for thinking. No path to the brain and back instead. Your spinal cord makes the choice. Fast, precise, protective. This is spinal intelligence. In that moment, your body knows how to save itself without waiting for your awareness to catch up. The reflex is not just a trick. It's a window into the spine's silent authority. There are other reflexes, too, smaller, slower, just as wise when you stand up quickly and feel dizzy. Your spinal cord helps regulate your blood pressure. When you shift your weight to keep from falling, it readjusts your muscles in milliseconds. You don't think about these things. You can't, because this part of you was designed to care for you when thought would come too late. The spine is your second self, always ready, always aware, always conducting the song of staying alive. If your brain is a lantern, then your spinal cord is a prism, taking light and shaping it, splitting it into color, directing it with grace. The signals that pass through it are not just simple messages. They are coded, refined, timed to perfection. Move your fingers, raise your chin. Take a step, then another. These acts feel simple, but beneath them is choreography, hundreds of muscles working in harmony. Thanks to the spinal cord's quiet direction and still. There's more. In the center of the spinal cord is a canal filled with cerebrospinal fluid, a clear, gentle, substance that cushions the tissue, carries nutrients, and removes waste. This fluid is in constant motion, pulsing with your heartbeat, swaying with your breath. It is the tide inside you. It's a private ocean, bathing your spine in protection, letting it float as it does its tireless work. You are a body made of water and thought, and the spine moves between them, effortless as a current. Now imagine the spine as a choir, each nerve a voice, each cluster of neurons a section, each message timed, pitched, and placed with careful resonance. From the moment you move in the womb to the steady march of your daily posture, this choir sings you into motion. And when you lie still, as you do now, it hums softly beneath your awareness. Postural muscles hold you without strain. The balance between neck and hips is maintained. Blood flows evenly to your limbs. A song of quiet, calibration. Think now of balance. You do not think about standing upright. You simply do. And yet, as you walk, your feet touch the ground with precision. Your body shifts left and right, counterweights, and corrections happening with every breath. This is not guesswork. It is spinal genius. Your spine gathers input from your eyes, from the soles of your feet, from the tension in your muscles, and integrates it all instantly. It doesn't shout its wisdom. It simply adjusts, so that you may walk, run, stretch, sway with grace. Even in sleep, the spine continues. Signals slow. But do not stop. If you shift in bed, it calculates how. If you dream of falling, it tightens your limbs, holding you safe within stillness. It is not a passive rope. It is a presence. And though it has no voice of its own, it sings. Not with sound, but with electricity, with rhythm. With life, you may have never thought of your spine this way, as intelligent, as musical, as something that knows. But you feel it now, that quiet pulse that connects thought to limb, intention to motion, self to self. It is the middle place between what you are, what you do. And it works always, faithfully, silently, like a conductor in a theater where the audience is unaware the music even began. Let yourself rest in that knowledge. You are supported, not only by muscles and bone, but by something deeper, a system designed to guide without command, to help without needing thanks. You may not feel it speak, but it never leaves you. Now. Bring your awareness upward, past the breath in your chest, past the steady hum of your spine, and into the hidden cathedral inside your skull. It is quiet here, not because nothing is happening, but because everything is. Here lies the brain, soft, intricate, alive, not a throne of command, but a symphony of signals. Not a dictator, but a delicate community of whispers, echoes, and replies. You do not think with one voice. You think with many, and together they sing your sense of self. The brain floats quite literally in a pool of gentle fluid. It weighs nearly 3 pounds, but within that suspension, it feels nearly weightless, suspended, protected. It drifts in darkness, yet creates light language. Emotion, within this quiet cradle, you dream, you solve, you laugh, remember, grieve, imagine. And though it feels seamless, what you call mind is not one thing, it is many rooms, each lit with its own kind of glow. Let's walk slowly through those rooms. Begin with the brainstem, the oldest, most primitive part. Tucked near the spine, it manages your breath, heartbeat, digestion, the rhythms that keep you alive. It doesn't ask your opinion. It doesn't need your awareness. Simply knows. Above it, the cerebellum, the little brain, sits like a curled leaf at the back of your skull that fine-tunes your movements, your balance, your timing. Every step, every stretch of your hand is refined by this silent sculptor. You may not sense it, but it watches over your grace. And then we come to the center, the limbic system. Here is where your feelings live. Not just sadness or joy, but yearning, bonding, fear, warmth. All born in this internal hearth. The amygdala, almond-shaped and deep within, lights up when danger comes near, but also when beauty moves you, or when a memory stings. Long after, the wound beside it, the hippocampus, shaped like a curled seahorse, gathers your experiences and gently weaves them into memory. It doesn't store them in drawers. It plants them in living networks, letting them bloom or fade with time. Here, memory is not archive. It is garden. Now rise upward to the outer shell. It's a wrinkled gray crown called the cerebral cortex. This is where imagination begins, where language lives, where planning, problem solving, and dreams of the future unfold. It is not flat or smooth. Its folds allow more surface and less space, like the pages of a book curled tightly within a single cover. Each part of this cortex is tuned to something different. The back, your occipital lobe, translates light into vision. The sides, your temporal lobes, capture sound and turn vibration into meaning. The top, parietal lobes, track movement and spatial sense. And the front, your frontal lobes, hold your judgment, speech, personality, your ability to weigh time and intention. It is here that you choose. It is here that you become. But even now, this map is not enough. Because the brain is not a collection of parts. It is a conversation. No area works alone. Every thought is a symphony. Every memory, a woven fabric. Every feeling, a blend of signals. Your brain does not command your body. It collaborates with. It listens as much as it speaks. It waits. It responds. Just like breath, just like heartbeat, the brain's great wisdom is found not in power, but in partnership. Partnership. Pause here. Breathe. You are not separate from your brain. It is not an organ you carry. It is you. Not just in thought, but in feeling. Not just in logic, but in warmth. Even your quietest moments, when you think of nothing, when you stare into the dark, your brain is there, processing, organizing, restoring, like a library working silently. After hours, or a lantern flickering long into the night. There are rhythms in this. Lantern, patterns of electrical waves rising and falling, like tides. Fast waves when you're alert, slow waves when you sleep, even slower when you dream. Your brain is not static. It dances, it shifts its tempo depending on need. Concentration, calm, chaos, rest. And these waves, they are not random. They are the soundtrack of your mind. Even now as you lie here, your brain hums in alpha waves, slow, relaxed, daydreaming. The state between wakefulness and sleep. You float in it. You belong to it. Let's speak now of neuroplasticity, a soft word for a powerful truth. Your brain can change. It is not fixed like a sculpture, but fluid like a stream. Experiences shape it. Repetition strengthens it. Pain rewires it. Love reshapes it. This is how habits form, how healing happens, how memories root or dissolve. The pathways between neurons, they are not roads, they're trails. And with each step, the trail grows clearer. You are not trapped in your patterns. You are writing them even now, within the folds of the brain. There is no spotlight, no single self. You are not housed in one corner, but everywhere at once. You are the scent of memory, the ache of loss, the image of light behind your eyes, the shape of a word forming in silence. Each of these emerges from a different region, but all speak your name. That name is not a sound. It is the whole of you. It's a quiet coordination, a conversation in the dark, a being built not from stone, but from spark. And still, your brain does more. It predicts, it prepares you for what might come next when you walk down familiar streets. Your brain fills in what you don't see. When you hear a friend's voice, you know what tone will follow. Your brain is a storyteller. And it works ahead of time. This is what makes imagination possible. The power to build what has not yet happened, and what makes empathy possible. The ability to feel what is not yours. The brain extends outward, far beyond the body. It reaches toward the future, toward others, toward wonder. And yet, for all its brilliance, your brain is not perfect. It forgets. It distorts. It misfears. It gives you dreams that make no sense. Memories that shift over time. Thoughts you cannot explain. But this is not failure. Life, a river, doesn't flow straight. Neither do you. Your brain adapts, improvises, learns, loses, begins again. It is not a machine. It is a meadow of stars. So as you rest here now, know this. Your brain is not asking you to understand all of it. It asks only that you listen, that you trust the harmony beneath the noise, that you allow your thoughts to drift and in drifting renew themselves. Let the waves slow. Let the stories pause. For even in silence, your brain continues. It's gentle. conversation. And in this softness, a new rhythm stirs, a shift in breath, a slowing of time. Your body begins to descend deeper, past thought, past tension, and in that descent, new system stirs quietly, not one that drives action, but one that welcomes rest. Asterisk when your stomach gurgles softly after a meal, when your body leans toward sleep in the hush of evening that is. Parasympathetic peace, unfurling. It slows your heartbeat not out of disinterest, but devotion. It sees no need for racing, no reason to run. This is the part of your nervous system that knows how to stay, how to remain. When danger has passed, it lowers the drawbridge. It lets the guards rest. It invites restoration, molecule by molecule. N. Inside your lungs, air moves like tides on a still shore. No urgency, no crash. Just the hush of breath returning to its rhythm. Inhale, exhale. This is the song of safety. Each breath draws more than oxygen. It draws presence. It reminds you that to be calm is not to be empty, but to be full in a different way. Your pupils return to softness, your vision no longer scanning for threat. Instead, you begin to notice beauty again. The curve of a tree's branch, the warm amber in another's eyes. The world becomes colorful again when you are no longer in survival. Even your blood shifts its flow. Instead of fueling fists and flight, it returns to your gut, your skin, your fingertips. It nourishes your immune system, heals small wounds. It digests your dinner. You may not feel these changes like fireworks, but they are happening quietly, constantly. And it is not just your body that quiets. Your mind slows to not asleep, but no longer running loops of alertness. A thought floats in, then leaves like a leaf on a stream. No need to cling, no reason to fight. This is the fertile ground where creativity grows, where ideas blossom without force. The parasympathetic system gives your mind room to wander, not because it must, but because it can. Sleep becomes possible here not just as an act, but as a trust. For sleep is not surrender to nothingness, it is surrender to safety. To drift into dreams, your nervous system must believe the world is still. It must believe it is time to rebuild. That is what this system does. It rebuilds, it restores. It allows. And the smallest things like the way your eyes grow heavy or the way your hands unclench char signals. Not just signs of tiredness, but signs that you are safe enough to rest. That is a biological miracle. The parasympathetic system doesn't shout, doesn't bark orders or throw alarms. It hums. It soothes. It works while you sleep, while you heal, while you hope, when you hold a loved one and your breathing matches, when your tears dry and your jaw softens. This system is in motion. It binds you to others. It allows connection. It is, in many ways, the nervous system of love. And in this quiet circuitry, you rediscover what it means to feel safe not in isolation, but in belonging. In return, in rhythm. The parasympathetic system is the art of the return. Return to breath, return to calm, return to yourself. And just as it welcomed you back from stress, it prepares you for the deeper journey inward, the journey where memory stirs and shadows sleep, where signals drift not just from body to brain, but back again. Carrying more than survival, they carry stories, and as the night deepens, so does your understanding. There is more than one current inside you's meant to calm, others to rouse. Now that you've met the quiet one, it's time to explore the storm. Asterisk, there is a moment before a thought, before a movement, before a word when something stirs. Not a sound, not a breath, but a spark. It begins in silence, then travels like fire across a dry field. A neuron fires one tiny cell in the endless network of your nervous system, and suddenly, a storm begins. This is not the gentle wave of the parasympathetic lullaby. This is the other half of you, the lightning in your veins, the wild signal that awakens you. Where calm once ruled, now energy blooms. And yet this storm is not chaos. It is choreography. Each neuron that fires for a reason, a stimulus, a memory, possibility. These are not just sparks, they are messages. Traveling down axons like wine down a wire, it's faster than thought, but never without direction. One neuron speaks to the next, not with words, but with voltage. It's an electric language, and when the spark reaches the end, it leaps not across air, but across a synapse, a tiny gap smaller than dust. Their chemicals take the baton. Neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, glutamate, with a mission, each with a mood. Like couriers between kingdoms, they carry intention. Excite this, inhibit. That, go here. Pause there, and in these quiet exchanges, the storm gains meaning. This is how you move your hand before you know you've burned yourself. It's how you cry before the sadness even forms a sentence. It's how your heart races before your mind admits fear. It is fast. It is ancient. It is you, and though the sparks are small, their reach is vast. From brain to spine to limb to fingertip, every movement, every decision. Every emotion begins in this internal storm. You are lightning made of flesh, electricity wrapped in skin. And though this storm may seem wild, your body does not fear it. It knows how to hold the voltage. Your nervous system isn't just a receiver, it is a conductor, shaping and guiding each surge with millisecond precision. Consider your reflexes, those sudden, involuntary actions that bypass thought entirely. A ball flying toward your face and you duck. A hot pan burns your palm and you pull away. You didn't choose, you didn't reason, you reacted. The spinal cord takes command. No need to involve the brain, no time. Survival is sometimes swift, but not all sparks are born of danger. Some are, born of awe. When you hear a song that moves you, when an idea lights up your mind, when you fall in love neurons dance, the same electrical rhythm, the same chemical trail. But now the storm becomes a symphony, and deep within this choreography, a truth emerges. You are not only sensing the world, you are creating it. The signals from your eyes, your ears, your skin, they are not simply recorded, they are interpreted, sculpted, given meaning. The world is not just outside you, is inside you too. The storm becomes a lens, a painter's brush, a poet's voice. And as the electrical pulses echo through your brain, new pathways form. Neurons wire together, patterns solidify. Memory takes shape not in ink, but in electric architecture. Thought is laid like scaffolding. You are not just reacting, you are remembering. You are becoming in this way. Every moment of your life, every joy, every grief has changed your wiring. You are not the same network you were as a child or yesterday, or an hour ago. You are a living map of sparks and storms. And still, you remain whole. So tonight, as the quiet dark wraps around you, know this: there is power in your stillness. But there is also electricity in your rest. The storm does not stop when you sleep. It softens, it reorganizes, it dreams. And tomorrow, when your eyes open again, the spark will return, not to fight, not to flee, but to wonder. Asterisk, you place a hand on your belly, maybe without thinking, maybe to soothe, maybe to check. But in that quiet touch, you greet a mind, not the one behind your eyes, wrapped in skull and spark, but the one behind your navel, lower, deeper, older. It does not think in words. It does not plan, but it feels, and it remembers. This is your enteric nervous system, your gut's hidden mind. A network of over 500 million neurons threading through your digestive tract, spanning from esophagus to colon, like a buried forest of thought. It has been called your second brain, but in some ways it was your first. Long before you learned to read or speak or reason, your gut knew how to respond to pain, to fear, to hunger, to love. When you're anxious, it tightens. When you're heartbroken, it drops. When you're overjoyed, it flutters. This is not poetry. It's neurology, because the gut doesn't just digest. It listens, and not just to your meals, but to your mood, your stress, your state of being. Here, deep in the abdomen, messages travel upward. From gut to brain, yes. Upward, your vagus nerve is the great messenger between these two minds. And 80% of its signals go from the gut to the brain, not the other way around. A silent stream of updates. Every second, all is well down here. Something feels off. We are not safe. We are soothed. You may think you make decisions with your head, but your belly often decides first. A wave of nausea before a bad decision. Butterflies before you speak in front of others. It's an appetite gone when grief arrives. Your enteric mind is honest. It doesn't rationalize. It doesn't lie. It just feels instantly. And it never sleeps. Even now, as you lie here, eyes closed, it is monitoring digestion. It is adjusting enzymes. It is shifting blood flow, balancing bacteria, modulating inflammation, a full-time mind for a full-time body, and speaking of bacteria. You are not alone in this quiet gut. You carry trillions of microscopic passengers. They are your microbiome, tiny lives that feed on what you eat, and in return, they whisper to your nervous system. Some release neurotransmitters. Guess the same kind your brain makes: GABA, serotonin, dopamine. Not only do your neurons respond to them, your gut microbes make them. And so your emotions are not just your own. They are co-written by a community. When your microbes thrive, you feel calm, stable, energized. When they suffer from stress, poor sleep, or harmful foods, you may feel anxious, foggy, depressed. This connection is real. It is not imagined. It is not mystical. It is measurable, biological, embodied. And so your gut becomes more than just a place of digestion. It is a source of emotional truth. Some researchers now believe that certain mental states begin here, not in the head. That early signs of mood disorders may first be felt in the belly. That the gut's signals could teach us how to better listen to ourselves. So, what does your gut feel tonight? Warmth, tension, whisper of unrest, a wave of calm. Place your hand there again, gently. No judgment. No agenda, just presence. Because whether you notice it or not, this second brain is still working, still learning, still responding to every bite, every breath, every heartbeat, and perhaps asks for one thing in return: to be noticed, to be heard, to be fed not just with food, but with rest, rhythm, and kindness. Because the quieter your mind becomes, the more you can hear its ancient voice, and maybe, just maybe, you'll realize the wisdom you seek has always been within, not just in the folds of your brain, but in the folds of your gut. Asterisk, there is a silence where a hand once was. Not an emptiness, but something stranger. A presence that lingers where the body no longer reaches. You lie still. Eyes closed, and imagine your hand. Now imagine it gone. Yet you still feel it, don't you? That gentle curve of fingers. The ghost of an itch. It's curl, a twitch, a sensation. That isn't and yet is. This is the world of phantom limbs. The echoes your nervous system refuses to forget. When a limb is lost to injury or surgery, the body changes. Up. The brain's map does not vanish so quickly. Inside your somatosensory cortex, the part of your brain that processes touch, each region of your body has its space. Your hand, your foot, your cheek dot, each has its tiny territory in your mind's quiet terrain. This is called the homunculus, a distorted figure representing how much brain space each body part takes. Your fingertips, so sensitive, occupy wide regions. Your back, less so, but when the body changes, the brain hesitates. It doesn't erase, it holds on. It waits, and sometimes it insists. It sends signals to a limb that no longer answers, and interprets the silence as pain. This is how phantom pain begins. Real pain from nerves that fire without a destination. It's not imagined. It's not all in your head in the dismissive sense. It is in your head in the circuitry that still believes. And this pain can be vivid, burning, tingling, cramping, as if the lost hand clenches tight, as if the missing leg wants to run. But what runs is memory, a memory written in electricity, etched in neurons. Yet pain is only one part of the phantom. Sometimes what remains is comfort, a resting hand, a gentle warmth, the feeling of a ring that hasn't been worn in years, a wedding band, a childhood scar. Some people feel limbs they never had. It's born without a hand, yet they feel it. Not because they lost it, but because their brain expected it. Yes, expected. Your nervous system comes with a blueprint. It's a map of a complete body. Even if the body, in its own unique shape, arrives differently, the self then is not simply what is, it is what was expected, what was once touched, what was once moved, and what still lives inside the neural rhythm of being. This knowledge has led to gentle therapies. Mirror therapy, for example, where a person places their intact limb before a mirror and moves it, watching its reflection, and the brain, ever adaptable, is tricked into seeing two hands again. The pain often fades, not because the limb returned, but because the nervous system was comforted, remapped, reassured. You see, your brain is not fixed. It is plastic, not like a toy, but like clay, malleable, shape-shifting, soft. This is called neuroplasticity, the power of your brain to rewrite itself, to reorganize based on experience, even loss. And so even absence becomes a teacher. Loss becomes a signal. And sensation becomes more than touch. It becomes memory, expectation, presence. What is your body then? Where does it end? Is it skin? Is it sensation? Is it the image in your mind when you close your eyes? Tonight, as you lie here, feel your body, but not just the muscles and bones. Feel the shape your nervous system believes in, the outline. Your brain draws with each breath, and if you notice something missing or something present that logically shouldn't be, let it be. It is not wrong. It is not a failure. It is your brain remembering you. And sometimes, even in the stillness of sleep, your phantom self reaches out, not in pain, but in gentle longing for something that once was or never was, but always wanted to be whole. Asterisk, there is a breath you forget to notice, and yet it never forgets you. You lie still, your body draped in quiet, your thoughts dissolving like mist, and still, you breathe. In, a pause, and out. This simple rhythm, so unremarkable in its constancy, is among the most profound dialogues of your nervous system, not a shout, not a command, but a whisper. Repeated. The breath you take right now isn't chosen. It's offered. Your brainstem, nestled low at the back of your skull, handles this sacred duty. Specifically, The medulla oblongata, a soft, ancient portion of your brain, acts like a vigilant shepherd, guiding each breath in and out, balancing. Gases gauging needs while you sleep, dream, or weep. You do not have to remind it. It remembers for you. But what is it listening to? Not oxygen, strangely. Not directly. Asterisk instead, your nervous system listens for carbon dioxide. A quiet buildup. Subtle rise in acidity within the blood. It's the CO that signals your body's growing need, the slow pressure of now it's time to breathe. Your chemoreceptors, tiny chemical sensors in the brain and arteries, detect this increase and sound the silent alarm. So breath is not urgency, but balance. It's a negotiation between blood, lungs, and mind. And it happens whether you know it or not, yet sometimes you do take hold. A deep breath, a sigh, a slow exhale before sleep. This is the edge of awareness, where autonomic becomes conscious. And in that space, you can guide the nervous system, not with force, but with rhythm. Each inhale awakens. Each exhale soothes. Exhale soothes. The sympathetic nervous system, your mobilizer, responds to the in-breath. Gathering, activating, quickening. The parasympathetic system, your calmer, follows the out-breath. Softening, relaxing. So when you breathe slowly, when you lengthen the exhale just a little more, you are not merely relaxing. You are sending a signal to the deepest circuits of your being that all is well. This is vagal breathing, a way of stimulating the vagus nerve, low, long wandering thread that travels from brainstem to gut, whispering peace along the way. It slows the heart, calms the gut, softens the muscles, and tells your body you are safe. This is why breathing techniques soothe anxiety, why meditation begins with the breath, why even in moments of chaos, a single, steady breath can become your anchor. The body listens, even the breath you do not feel, the ones in deep sleep, the sighs you never notice. Those two are part of the orchestra. There's also a strange poetry in the numbers. You breathe about 22,000 times a day. Each breath, a message. Each message, a measure of life continuing. You may notice now how your body feels as it breathes. The gentle expansion of your ribs. The cool air at the tip of your nose. The quiet pause at the top, that moment of suspension before the fall. That moment is everything. It is between in and out, between control and surrender, between mind and nerve. Somewhere in that pause, the nervous system listens, adjusts, remembers how to hold you. Breathing is not just oxygen. It is interoception, your brain's quiet sensing of internal states. It's how you know you're hungry, tired, dizzy, or full. How you feel heartbeats. How you notice stillness. And how the breath, so internal and invisible, reminds you that you are alive and whole. Tonight, as sleep draws nearer, let the breath guide you, not with control, not with effort, but with awareness. Feel the way your breath touches the inside of your ribs, the way it curls gently into your belly, the way it retreats like a tide unhurried. And in that rhythm, your nerves rest out between breath and nerve. A truce is held. No need to rush, no need to explain, just the soft, faithful inhale. And the kind, unwinding exhale, again and again, until even your nervous system forgets to watch and drifts into sleep. Asterisk, there is a moment just before sleep when everything inside you softens, your limbs grow heavy, your thoughts lose their edges, and something silent opens, as if a hidden gate within the mind has swung wide. You are entering the night garden of the brain here. The nervous system changes its rhythm. It leaves behind the chatter of daylight, the messages, the motion, the muscle tension, and slips into a different pattern, a deeper hum. Sleep is not absence. It is transformation. Your body remains still, but your brain begins its quiet work. And this work is holy. The first phase welcomes you gently. REM Stage 1. A light drifting, a crossing over, muscles twitch, eyelids flutter. The boundary between waking and sleep becomes like fog. Here, your alpha waves fade into theta, slow and drowsy. This is the threshold. Then deeper. Stage 2. Your body temperature drops, heart rate slows, breathing softens. Your brain begins sending out strange bursts of electricity, sleep spindles, and K-complexes. Sudden, sharp flashes that protect your slumber and quietly shape memory. You are now inside the garden, and deeper still you go. Into Stage 3, the realm of slow-wave sleep. Here, the deepest healing begins. Your brain's delta waves move slowly, like ripples on a quiet lake at night. The glymphatic system, a cleansing network within your brain, awakens, now flushing away the debris of thought and experience, washing out the byproducts of consciousness, proteins that might cause damage, misfired signals. All of it cleared. Your brain is tidying the pathways, pruning branches, strengthening roots. And during this time, your parasympathetic nervous system takes full control, heart rate at rest, muscles released, the immune system rebuilding quietly in the background. You lie there, asleep, and yet your body becomes a place of rebirth. But soon, the garden changes again. REM sleep arrives. Your eyes, though closed, dart beneath their lids. Your muscles become paralyzed, as if the body steps out of the dream so the mind may walk in alone. This is where dreams begin. Here, the limbic system, home of emotion and memory, lights up. Your prefrontal cortex, the planner and critic, dims down. And so the dreams emerge, unfiltered, colorful, strange, symbolic. Fragments of memory and imagination woven together into a gentle, private mythology. You are dreaming. And in dreaming, you are integrating, sorting what mattered, letting go of what didn't. In REM sleep, the nervous system plays and puzzles. It rehearses fear in safety. It recalls laughter and loss. It pieces together identity, as if each night you become a little more yourself. All this happens in silence. In darkness, without conscious effort, you do not control it. You only allow it. As the night passes, you move through these cycles, NREM and REM, again and again, like spirals winding inward. Each cycle shapes your nervous system, restores chemicals, rewires habits, refreshes circuits. Your autonomic nervous system, so alert in the day, becomes a gardener in the night. It waters the brain, pulls the weeds, and prepares the soil for tomorrow's thoughts. And while you sleep, your heart learns a steadier rhythm. Your gut digests gently. Your breath moves like a tide, barely noticed. Your nervous system has not gone quiet, it has gone deep. And when you wake, you carry that depth within you. You might not remember the dreams, but the healing remains. The softening remains. The balance whispered into every cell. Sleep is not separate from the nervous system. It is the nervous system doing its most sacred work. As you drift now, notice this gentle truth. Your body is not asking you to try. It is asking you to let go, to lie still, to feel your breath, to know that you are held by something older than words, a rhythm that has always known how to care for you. Tonight, you do not need to be in charge. Let the brain's garden bloom in darkness. Let your nerves tend to the silence. Sleep. Carry you where thought cannot follow. In the softest corners of the night. You are already healing. Asterisk.